Coach Teresa Ford here, and this is the Guiding You Home podcast. This is a thought-provoking and often humorous approach to moving you closer to the only one who can genuinely help you live a life of abundance and prosperity. Sound good? Yeah, it's you that needs to go within so you can sit in the driver's seat of your life, co-creating with God. So make room for more light and knowledge. As you continue to listen, you will discover elements of how to lead with your inner light, how to act on your specific promptings, and how to follow your spiritual intuition so you can fulfill the measure of your creation. Thanks for being here, and let's dive in. And we're back. Thank you. Thank you for listening and contemplating. What does this mean to me? Because as I am trying to funnel you right back into your inner knowing, I'm trying to guide you home to where the answers are found. I love that you're just thinking about it. And how does that apply to me? And what am I doing that's keeping me out here and confused and in all the noise and all the stuff that doesn't really tap into what my needs are, right? So today we're going to talk about you complete me. I'm not talking about relationships with other people. I am literally talking about figuring out what it feels like when you are complete. Okay, so I want to start this out with a story. All right. So I was in fitness, and if you're in fitness, there's like all these rules you have to live by. I didn't. I was definitely an outlier in this category. But in the diet world, in the fitness world, in the exercise world, you gotta eat less, exercise more. It's zero fun. It's exciting for the first week. Then it's like every Monday's a diet and every Tuesday's a failure and the rest is just a wash. So because I don't teach fitness anymore, I still find value in talking about the thing we think we want. We want a better body. We want to make our insides and our outsides match. We really want to look like we feel, and we want to feel like we look. That's normal. Let's do that. But we're going to do it thinking outside the box because I'm not a herd follower. I'm just not going to do what everybody else is doing. And I want you to listen to the things that you hear. It's not always the things that I say, but it's the things you hear that when it resonates and you have an aha moment and a light bulb setting and you say to yourself, wow, I have never thought about it like that before. That's what I want out of this whole discussion. I want you to go, wow, that changes things for me. That shifted my mind. That turned on a light bulb. Like I will do it differently because I have the answers, right? You are the I I'm talking about. You have the answers. I don't have the answers for you, but I can share stories where you can hear yourself and you go, oh yeah. So here's my story. It's the cookie story. In fitness, in dieting, in exercise, we're like, we have to eat less calories. We have to stay away from the bad foods. We can't have all the sweets and all the things that spike our blood sugar because that's what stores us fat and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm gluten intolerant, still working on that, but I hadn't had a cookie for that reason alone. Like I was so busy with work. I wasn't baking, I wasn't cooking, none of that was happening. And I was gluten intolerant, so I just didn't have cookies. I didn't have cake. I didn't even have ice cream. I don't like ice cream, so that kind of works in my favor. But when there was a day or a weekend or something, and I made gluten-free cookies. And I was like, it just felt right. Felt like I wanted to bake. I finally had some time off. And it was just kind of a thing that all of a sudden I had this craving for cookies. And I found myself arguing back and forth. Do I eat? Like, okay, I'll allow myself to have one. Like the control was high. I was like, because I didn't have to control myself before because it just wasn't a temptation because I didn't want to feel sick, right? And I would feel sick if I ate a gluten-laden cookie. So this was an opportunity for me to go, oh my gosh, I haven't had a cookie in like 8 years at this point. And so I found myself arguing. It's like, because I ate the one cookie and oh my gosh, it was so good. It's like, oh my gosh, I forgot how awesome chocolate chip cookies are. And so then I ate a second and I found this guilt that was like, yikes, this is not good, because I can see how you could literally not stop eating these cookies and it could be bad, which is hilarious because I also know that you don't gain weight overnight. It's over a progression of time of eating so that you can store fat. It's not an overnight deal. It's definitely not a plate of cookies in one sitting. And I knew this, but there I was, arguing with myself. Controlzilla was all up in the middle of it, instead of just letting me enjoy the freaking cookies. So I made a decision. After having two, knowing I wanted a third, I was like, hey, I'm just going to be miserable if I don't just let go of this idea. So I packed the plate with 10 cookies, and I went and sat down. And I picked up the third cookie and ate it. Oh, still so good. And I picked up the fourth cookie and ate it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's an eye roller. It was so good. And I ate the fifth cookie and I ate the sixth cookie and I ate the seventh cookie and I ate the eighth cookie. And it dawned on me at the eighth cookie, I think I'm complete. I think I'm done. I don't need to eat another cookie. Like, I really don't want the last two. I had all I wanted. And so I took the plate back over to the counter and just set it down. I wasn't wishing I could have the two cookies left on the plate. I didn't want the two cookies left on the plate. It was complete. And I think there is this idea that we just don't listen to ourselves, so we overeat. We gorge ourselves because the rule we're operating by is that your mother said, clean your plate, right? Those of us that are my age, we got that stuff. I mean, it's probably not a thing anymore, but we heard it, right? And so if you're like, well, I'm trying not to be wasteful and I'm trying to, save the earth, whatever the logic is for wanting to clean your plate, it negates listening for the signal of completion. So if we look at babies, right? Babies don't overeat. Like, when they're done eating, they will refuse the food. They just turn their head. Nope, don't try and give me another spoonful. I'm done. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. Some days they're hungry, some days they aren't. Some days you wonder if your child's going to starve to death because they don't want to eat. And then we're forcing food on them. And it's like, but they have an innate wisdom. Why not let them use it? Let them eat when they're hungry. Let them learn to figure out when they are complete. So my cookie story is one I think that we can all relate to, that we've always been like, oh my gosh, this is such a good meal, or this is such a delicious dessert, or, the 8-layer cake or whatever. And we're just like, I have no self-control. I have no willpower. That is not true, by the way. You do have willpower. It's just that when you're working against yourself, you're like, you shouldn't eat it. Where's your focus? Can't have it, can't spend money, can't have that dress, that really good quality dress that's going to last a long time, that's going to be your go-to dress. Can't have it, you got to buy a cheap one that you're only going to wear once, you're not going to love it. When you are opposing yourself, it makes it harder, and then you end up doing exactly the thing that you didn't want to do. Because you're focused on it. If you focus on what you don't want, congratulations, you're going to get it. But if you focus on what you do want, you let go of the resistance, you back off on the rules, just go send Controlzilla to take a nap. She doesn't know what you need. But your body does. It actually has a natural on and off switch when it comes to food, especially. So ghrelin is the hunger hormone, and your stomach will growl. Remember back in grade school when you're waiting for lunch, and right about 11:30, your stomach started growling? Yeah, it naturally knows when it's empty and it's ready for more. And so if we pay attention to body signals, and we eat when our stomach is hungry, when it says, I'm ready for more, and then we eat to completion. We eat until we're satisfied. We eat until it just felt good. And then leave it there. And this is not, oh, you can't have any more. I want you to have all that you want. I want you to give yourself permission to have all you want. And 1,000 times over, you will be shocked at how, when you give yourself permission, just eat all you want. And we're not saying eat all of it. We're saying, like, if you got a big old delicious bowl of spaghetti in front of you, we're not saying eat the whole thing. We're saying eat all you want, because you'll get to a point where you take a deep breath, like a very deep cleansing breath. That is the signal your body is giving you that you're complete. That was it. We don't need more. We don't want more. We're good. Because you can always have more later. We're not saying don't eat it ever again. We're not saying that that's all you get for the day. Because if there is a scarcity element to I can't have what I want, I can't have as much as I want, I am limited to how much I can have today or in this meal or this week because I'm on a diet, because I can only have 1,200 calories, because all the rules, it negates listening to your body that tells you we're complete. Some days you're going to take 3 bites of a nutritionally dense meal. Maybe it's like chicken breast. Chicken breast is super dense. You can't just keep eating chicken breast forever and ever. You can't eat 8 chicken breasts in a sitting. You can have maybe 1. You can eat 1 and then you're like, okay, I'm complete. I am done eating chicken. Like, I don't have this driving desire to have more chicken right now. That's how you know you're complete. That's what it feels like. I'm done. If you can listen to your signal, and I'm not just talking about food here, listen to your signal to have and allow yourself the permission, like write the permission. I give myself permission to go shopping for a dress for the upcoming wedding I'm having. And I give myself permission to spend whatever that dress costs because it feels so good. It's a match. And if you give yourself permission to buy the dress that is just going to fit so beautifully, feel so nice, makes you feel so comfortable with who you are, it doesn't mean that that's going to be $1,000 dress. That's not what that means. You're just removing the limitations, and you allow yourself to go shopping until you feel complete. I know. For shoe lovers, it's like, is there such a thing? In the sense of allowing yourself to experience what it's like to feel complete, because you're arguing in your head, I know I don't need any more shoes, but I love those shoes. I just love them. I love those and those and those and those. It's not wrong to love a million different kinds of shoes. I'm not saying put a limit on it, because you're a creative genius, right? You've got this really strong sense of creating a wardrobe or a home or a meal plan or a healthcare plan, like whatever plan you are putting together for yourself, it's a dream, right? It's an idea, it's a desire, it's a hope, a wish, or a want, right? It's something that's going to get your creative genius on board to experience it. But if you remove the limitations, you'll start to notice that you feel complete. That all of a sudden you're not just shopping to have a good feeling. Oh, my life is full of stress and I am now I'm going to procrastinate all the things that I need to do because I'm overwhelmed by thinking just too much thinking about doing this, doing that. Now there's not enough time. Now there's not enough money. Now there's not enough resources. Now there's not enough love. You've overthought everything. And then you're like, online shopping. It's low-hanging fruit. I deserve it. Let's reward myself for being an overthinker because I just need something that's going to make me feel better, right? We're just going for that good feeling, and shopping can do that. But then we feel guilty. Then we feel bad. Then we feel like, we've wasted resources or that we've overspent or whatever. In order to remove all that negative energy around shopping, spending a little time and money on you, we'll just get that out of the way. Allow yourself to feel what it's like to reward yourself and feel complete. Maybe you've got like these pants and this shirt in the closet, and there's just not really a good set of or a pair of shoes that's going to finish the set. You're like, I'm not doing it out of stress. I'm doing it because I give myself permission. I'm just going to go buy the shoes. I'm going to stop overthinking it. I'm going to stop with the guilt. I'm just going to, like, all the limiting beliefs around it. I'm just going to let myself have the shoes. And there's no over-explaining, no over-reasoning. You get the shoes because you want them. Because it's just going to make your outfit magical. And then when you buy the shoes and you have them in your hands and you put on the outfit and you're rocking it, now you're like, I feel complete. There is a sense of completion because, you know, even though everybody's got an opinion about how much is too much, you know, we are judgy about what's in someone else's closet and how many of those things they have that they don't need. None of that matters, because all that is a projection of you and the rules you impose upon yourself looking outward, right? Or how I feel about my life and my limitations, I'm going to project that on you and tell you you've got too many shoes. You shouldn't shop that much. You shouldn't waste money. You shouldn't be overweight. You should, like, woo, can you tell how much that is not helping us with our inner guidance? There is nothing out there that is your business. Your business is right here. You are a business. This is yours. You have enough going on that surely you will not get bored paying attention to your business. And when you experiment on this, when you just like, okay, what if I wasn't jealous? What if I wasn't over interested in somebody else's life? What if I just close off the windshield for just a half a second? We'll just put the sunshade up in the windshield and stop looking outside of ourselves for who's driving right and who's driving wrong. What if we just stop all that? What if we come back here and we just experiment on this idea that when I eat, am I overeating? Am I trying to fill a void? Is there stress involved in the reason why I eat? Or do I just give myself permission to eat? Eat as much as I want. And notice that when you eat as much as you want, you actually don't eat as much as you thought you were going to eat. If there's not a limit, there is no focus on what you can't have or what you shouldn't do or what you aren't going to address, so you find another means to feel good. If there's none of that going on, what are the chances that you're going to operate more in alignment with who you are? You are going to attune to who you are and actually meet needs that are going unmet. And that's the reason our stress is high, is because we are not meeting the needs of being validated by ourselves or God, by being understood by ourselves or God. We need all this outside validation and input. No. You are valid. Your needs are validated. Okay, that's in this moment right here, right now. I want you to say with me, I am valid. My needs are valid. My wants are valid. My hopes and wishes and desires are valid. All of them. See, we are not actually limited. We have limitless resources, limitless ideas, limitless love. Nothing is scarce. Nothing. It's only our belief that it's scarce. It's looking out into the world who's talking about you should be scared because our side's right and their side's wrong. We're just listening to that fear banter and the noise instead of coming back home to where love lives. Love is expansive. It's limitless. It is what you're made of. It is why you're here. It is your creation, and it is a means of being the creator. So if you experience on this idea that you just have all you want until you feel complete? You're not going to overeat. You're not going to overshop. You're not going to overspend. You're just going to feel the needs, wants, hopes, and desires that you've been denying yourself. Like, diets are not sustainable when it's based off of a certain number of calories and a certain food group with no fun in between. It's not sustainable. That's not why you're here. You're here to have fun. You're here to enjoy your life. You're here to participate in the creative process through your intuition and your inner wisdom to expand and be this joy in the world. But it's really hard to do that when we're busy bossing ourselves around. So, if you're ready to get unbossy, you're ready just to test out who you are and what you want, how you want it, and just notice. Notice when you're overwhelmed. Notice when you're putting limiting beliefs on yourself. Notice when you're putting rules in place that don't have to be there. Look, let's just get real. Are you actually going to break rules like the rules that matter? No, you are not. You are a rule keeper. You're going to keep the ones that matter. If there's an eternal consequence there, you're not going to break those. So the rest of the rules are just made up. They're just a database of everything we've collected about what to do and not to do to be loved and accepted in this world. So if we just put her down for a nap, give her a snack, do something else with the busy brain, with the bossy one, Controlzilla, and just sit with who you are. Your intuition will not actually allow you to overeat. You'll be like, it's complete. Your intuition will lead you to the right pair of shoes, the beautiful dress, the outfit you've always dreamed of. It will find you. It has nothing to do with all the other jeans in your drawer. It has nothing to do with how full your closet is. If you have a dream, follow it, and you won't find yourself over shopping. You're going to go to the thing that's like, oh, that's cool. Let it be what it can be, and you will never feel limited, stifled, stuck, overeating, oversharing, you'll never overdo it. You will have that sense of completion and how good that feels. That your inner guidance system will lead you so much better than the busy brain that wants to tell you what you should and shouldn't do, what you can and can't do. And if you focus on it, it's a disaster. But if you focus on, you can have all you want. You literally can have all you want, because all you want is not all of it. Like, think about your breath. Are you going to breathe all the air you're ever going to breathe right now? Forever and ever? And you're never going to take another breath again? No, you're not. So if we can find evidence in your life where you do this thing of feeling complete, we know you can do it in other areas of your life. So you don't really even think about breathing. It's just kind of natural. You breathe in, you breathe out. You don't try and take all the air in that you're ever going to breathe. No, you don't go overboard. You're very moderate in your breathing in, breathing out. Sometimes you need a big breath and then a release. Other times you're just in that low-key, shallow breathing, not really needing a ton of oxygen because you're not expending it. And other times you're a hustle, you're moving, you're shaking, and you have all the oxygen you need. You have all the oxygen you want. You can have all the oxygen you want all the time, anytime. So what does that tell you? That that's limited to just breathing? Or is that an eternal principle that you can expand on in every area of your life? You can have as much as you want. You can have as much exercise as you want. You can have as little as you want. And it's not wrong if you're listening to you. There are some days that your brain's like, oh, I should exercise. I'm getting fat. I can't fit it in my pants. No, that is never the inspiration. Never. That's just busy brain working from the data that's trying to keep you safe. Because back in the day, it wasn't safe not to look good, not to fit in the right jeans, not to Like if you wanted to belong to your social group and to society in general, we had rules about what that looked like. That is not what we're doing anymore. The new expansive way of living in the world is just to breathe in and let it out. Breathe in and let it out according to your needs and wants. And you can have all of it. All that you want right now. Not all that you're ever going to have forever. Just all you need right now. All you want right now. You can have all you want. I used to teach this to my fitness clients. I was like, you can have all the food you want. Like if you put foods in front of you that's going to make sense to your metabolism so that you burn fat and not muscle, you're going to have the proteins and the vegetables. It's not rocket science. And you can have all you want, and I dare you to eat more. Because when you dare someone to eat chicken and vegetables and eat too much, they're literally going to tell you that I actually can't eat more than, like, I'm feeling satisfied. Like I don't want more. I had all that I wanted. It's like, yes. That principle changes when you go to something that is fluffy, like a donut, pasta, bread. Your body doesn't receive the I'm all done signal. It doesn't feel complete yet because it takes more time to feel full because your body's looking for nutritionally dense foods. And so it has to pick apart the pastas that have, 6 or 7 ingredients in them. It has to pick apart the bread that has 6 or 7 ingredients to find the nutritional value. Does that make sense? So I'm just giving you this little blurb about to set the expectations. Like, well, I had all I wanted and I just didn't feel full until it was all gone. Well, if you're eating fluffy foods, that will be the case. And so if you experiment with this, try eating chicken and vegetables, steak and vegetables, throw a potato on the side, like experiment with a plate of food where you know where it came from. It didn't come out of a bag. It didn't come out of a box. It came like steak is steak, broccoli is broccoli, potato is a potato. They all came from a place, and you can identify them because there's only one ingredient in them, right? Throw some butter on there, salt it up, pepper it, whatever you need, make it taste good, and then try it. And experiment on this idea that I can have all that I want. Like make 2 steaks, make 3 potatoes, make the entire broccoli head. Put them on your plate and see how much of that you eat before your body receives the signal, I am complete. I guarantee you will not finish all of that food. But it will definitely get your attention that everything else in your life, just like air, just like shopping, just like money is always in circulation. There is no scarcity of money. It's always in circulation. It's just whether or not you're letting it in with your thoughts because you think it's scarce, because it doesn't like you, because you're always poor, because like whatever. You can have as much money as you want. There's a whole other podcast episode to be done on manifestation, but I do have some earlier episodes where I do talk about manifestation if you want to go grab those. But experiment with this because it helps you stop overthinking, stop placing limitations on yourself, and start receiving the abundance of life because you are complete. You want for nothing. You have everything you need and want, and it feels good. If you have questions, email me. I'd be happy to answer them. 𝐃𝐸𝐵𝐿@gmail.com. And think about this, and I would love to hear your comments about how this resonated. Even the sticking points. I am not afraid of the sticking points. Let's talk about those. If you're getting in your way still, we need to talk. But we'd love to hear about your practice and how you knew you were complete. Thanks for listening. I invite you to leave your feedback and share your aha moments as you listen to this podcast. Also, you can access more information or any of the programs, courses, or worksheets that I've mentioned on these episodes on my website at teresaford.life. Or what I would really love is for you to connect with me on Instagram at teresaford.coaching and on Facebook at Coaching with Teresa Ford. so I can give you more interesting insights and further coaching to help you fulfill the measure of your creations.